good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rope Break. As you can see, we have the whole panel together. We have Ryan, we have Ek, Jean Paul for the ones that love the Jean Paul Ek. I want to shout out two people. Seth is a pretty good fan of the show. He loves Rope Break. He's a big fan of Jean Paul, and also Kyle. Kyle hates Rope Break, so he refuses to watch. So I wanna shout out both of you guys. We hope that you're enjoying the weekend, and we hope you watch SmackDown live review. Ryan and I did a Facebook live talking about everything that took place on SmackDown. We want to thank also everybody that's been supporting the show. We keep growing on Facebook. We wish that we will grow a little bit more on YouTube, but that's in the works. So how's Ek doing today?
Oh, not too bad. Pretty good.
Yeah, ready to talk
Yep.
AEW.
Ready to talk about some good wrestling for once.
That's right. How about you, Ryan?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is bringing it. You says right there, just bring it. And as you guys can see above his head is the beautiful undisputed title, worn by Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, The Rock, Eddie Guerrero, one of the greatest of all time, were able to actually have that strap and that belt. So, guys, AEW Dynamite took place in Philadelphia. How was the show for you guys? Starting with Ryan.
I thought it was very good. A little different because they had a lot of tag matches.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was an intriguing part of the show. But
I would say that.
Yeah, to me, and I like that, this tag team tournament is really bringing it, and I think that that's an interesting dynamic to the whole show, that they know, to me, they know that's their strongest part of the whole show, is their tag team wrestling. So the fact that they had, was it 3 or 4 tag team matches?
I think it was all together. I think it was 4 tag team matches.
So to me, that was fantastic. It was something different because you don't see that in WWE. So that was really good. Plus the fact that they did that the week that WWE announced they were going to have a tag team turmoil match for the greatest tag team to crown the greatest tag team of all time or whatever. I really enjoyed it.
The best tag team in the world, right?
Good lord.
Best tag team in the world, yeah. So, Mr. Eck, how was AEW for you? 3 weeks of Dynamite so far. Good 3 weeks, bad 3 weeks. Yes, no.
I think they're blowing everybody's expectations out of the water. Everybody was already expecting, big things from them, and I think they exceeded all that. This episode, like Ryan said, was filled with tag team matches, and that's something we're not used to watching WWE product. And the thing is, these tag team matches are so good because these are all legit tag teams. It's not like WWE, who takes someone like Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, who they might have chemistry, they might not, but they don't care. They put them together. Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, they're put together. WWE, half their tag team division is people, single stars who are put together in a makeshift tag team. AEW, all their teams are legit teams. They've been teams for years. So that's why I think these matches are so good.
I agree. I agree with both of you guys. I think it was a really legit show. The tag matches are really blowing everybody's expectations, like Mr. X said. I feel that to see like a street fight, a Philadelphia street fight, because the show took place in Philadelphia for the people that didn't know that, I think that was really good. To me, I feel that like the show is bringing it because we're seeing like good wrestling from the beginning of the show all the way till the end. There's no gaps. We're seeing the wrestlers are really performing pretty well. The stories are making sense, and actually we're working towards the next week. Whatever they tell you in the ring is going to affect next week. It's going to have some kind of implications next week, and I feel that's the main thing, and that's why we all want to see more of AEW. And like both of you said in the previous video that we did with Egg about the preview from Dynamite, AEW Dark. Even that contains a lot of implications of what's going to happen in the next show.
Yeah.
So, guys, I feel that like 3 weeks into this new company or this new concept of wrestling, I think is a hat trick.
Yeah, the only thing with this episode is not even a a mark against it is just the pacing. I think they got to get maybe the TV pacing down. Tell them it's only 2 hours. This is how we got to do things. Especially in this episode, it was a lot of matches, and there's one match I would have got rid of. It was the Pride and Powerful. I guess that's what they're being called,
Yes,
or that's what they're going to be
I think
called.
they're going to be called Powerful and Prideful and Powerful. I think
So
Santana and Ortiz.
yeah, when Santana and Ortiz, they had that like I don't know 3-4 minute squash match
Yes,
just to kind of showcase them, and I understand that. But we already knew what these guys could do. They had that match with the Young Bucks. Just, I would have rather had a video package or something, or to say like, oh, this guy's coming in 3-4 weeks from now. Promote somebody new. I would have rather seen something like that, just because I felt like it was match, 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 and then certain matches right when they ended, it was like, all right, get these guys out of here, bring on the next match. Or at the end of the show when Jericho won, it was like he won. Everybody comes out with the bubbly,
and
done,
done,
and
and
done.
done, and
Yeah,
done. I
there
will
was
say
no
that.
Cody stare down. There was nothing. Just done.
What about you, Ryan? What about you?
For me, I agree with you guys. What I would have done is it felt like me. Now, we brought this up. I think before I did not know Luchasaurus was injured. Um, so the Lucha Express match, you know, it felt very sort of deflated. Because he was not
Yeah.
a part of that. Because they were my favorite going into this to win the whole thing.
Oh, I think they were everybody's favorite. And then when it was Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt, everybody redid their brackets
Yes.
immediately.
Yes. And for me, once I saw, it was Marco Stunt in there, I knew that the Lucha Bros were going to win. But to me, that match went very long. That one,
Yeah.
for me, was very long. I think they could have done that a little bit shorter and gave Allman and Jericho a little bit more time at the end because that match felt a little rushed to me.
To me, it felt really rushed. But we're gonna dissect everything from the very first match. I agree with both of you guys. I think the show is really good overall. The feeling is still great.
Oh
People are
yeah.
still
Overall,
feeling,
it was good.
excited into the show. But I think there's a lot of things that they can tweak. They're minor things, but I feel that like if they really work into them, like the show can be absolutely even better than what
Hmm.
already is. So we're gonna start with the beginning. AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. SEU, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels at the beginning against the best friends. The match doesn't even start. SEU is coming out to the ring. Lucha Bros come out.
Yeah, I
Penta
liked it.
Cero Miedo, like he delivers the pile driver, and Christopher Daniels out. Is that a work or is that is was that for real? That he
Oh,
got
when
it?
the ref held up the X,
Yes.
I'm gonna say that that wasn't legit. I'm gonna say that it was a work. I mean, I don't think he's hurt. I was going to go online and maybe check his Twitter or check something to see, but I feel like that would have been in the major news if he was like really that hurt. I think it was just to play up the angle because they might do something. Maybe SCU attacks the Lucha Bros in their next match.
Yeah.
I think it's just to build the storyline. But
What about you, Ryan?
It could be an angle, but I did see something posted by Daniels saying, "Thank you for all the well wishes. I hope to get better soon."
Wow. So we don't even know yet. But I
yeah,
think, see, for
the thing
example,
with that is
AEW
though that could
stars.
be. Oh, go
That
ahead.
could
That
be
could
the
all be
work
a,
too. That could be all
Yeah,
the work.
that's what I was
Yes.
gonna say. They could just be. I feel like in AEW they're a little more old school. They're gonna keep things kayfabe. It's not gonna be like WWE where you see the heels and the faces out at the bar drinking and hugging, and then the
That's
next
right.
week on TV
You
falling
see
to
them
their
at
ass.
Wawa, yeah. You see them at
Yeah,
Wawa, sharing the gobbler or like a meatball sandwich. You don't
yeah,
do that. You
I
yeah.
actually
hope
see them away from each other.
That's what
I
I
hope
mean.
that is true. I hope that he posted that, and I hope it's all fake, and he
Yeah,
comes out and fucks the Lucha Bros over or
I
something.
hope he's at
That's what
home.
I
I
mean.
hope
Like
he's
that to
at
me
home
is what they
drinking a
should do.
beer, laughing his ass off, having a good time. Oh yeah, I'm fucked up. Thanks for the well wishes. I hope it's a work because then it's that's good storytelling. Then they actually care.
It's good because see the match didn't even start and we're already seeing a lot of action.
Yeah.
And actually, I haven't seen this in such a long time that actually Scorpio Sky wasn't even part of the team that was going to compete. And
Mhm.
then the referee was going to call off the match and everything. And then he's like, no, 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 wait a second. I'll be in.
I mean, I think this should have been the team to begin with. It should have been let the two younger guys go in there and
Yeah,
see this.
I was under the impression that they're going to do the same thing that WWE does with the New Day. So sometimes it's like Xavier and Kofi, and sometimes it's Xavier and Big E. So
Yeah,
I was
I
under the
think
impression
that
that
could have
it
been an
depends on the
unfair
match.
advantage though, because then it's like, oh, we might want a certain guy in a certain match, and not every team has the option to switch out for a third guy. So I like it that they had to pick beforehand.
I mean, that's a different thing, right, Ryan? You will say that like it's like, for example, we don't see that in WWE.
Well, it depends on. This all started with the Freebird rule. When the Freebird started,
Yeah.
Take us through that, please.
you had the Freebirds, you had the Von Erichs as well. That whole feud was fantastic, but you had, the Von Erichs who had all the brothers and stuff. They could swap in and out, do different things. They held the tag titles and stuff, especially in their own area there, as well as the Freebirds who did the same thing. Um, they could swap in and out, and it's called the Freebird rule, where if you have a tag team like that who has more than one person, you can swap in and out. Um, but to me, I like the idea of having factions like that where you don't know who the hell you're going to face. To me, I like that idea. I want to see more of that. I hope to see more of that.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm hoping they continue to do that. Like the Dark Order, don't they have more than they have like three people, right?
I think there's three people.
I think it's just the two of them, and then they have the
It's just
creepers.
Evil Uno and the other guy.
Yeah,
Okay, because I wasn't sure, um, but I'd like to see more of the Freebird rule. More factions.
I will say that, yeah. To me, that was really interesting, and the fact that like he entered into the match, and we saw this beautiful thing that actually kept it more wrestling sports like. He grabbed the tape from like the kid, the first aid kid I think they had, or some kind of kid,
yeah.
and then
He
grabbed.
didn't just so happen to be in his wrestling gear, sitting in the crowd, going, "Oh, good thing I wore my tights and my boots." Like it
Exactly,
was
like they made
legit.
it like,
Yeah,
yeah, they made
there's
it legit.
attention to detail.
They
Yeah.
made it legit. They
Well,
made it legit.
it makes me think that Daniels has been injured for a while because I haven't seen him compete in a little while. Am I right?
He might be injured. He might be injured. He's a little older than everybody else.
Yeah,
So
he's.
he could be
It's just a
injured,
question.
and
But I'd rather see Scorpio Sky competing because he can do a lot more than Daniels at his age.
I will say that like he happens to be like younger, so he can do more things, and I think he complements Kazarian a little better than Daniels.
I would agree.
And the main reason now you just say that about Daniels is because age. That's the only
It's not,
reason.
and again,
Yeah,
it's not
and I mean,
important, but
with all three of those guys, a lot of people know Christopher Daniels. Not a lot of people know the other two.
mhm.
Yes,
And now it's on a main stage. Whether he did have a lingering injury or not, it's like let these guys shine. Like you'll get your moment, they'll give you your rub, Daniels. You'll be on a pay-per-view, you'll be this and that, but let these guys get the TV time, let them get the rub, so that
and
audience because now everybody saw Scorpio Sky do what he did in freaking dress pants and no shoes. People are like, this guy's legit.
yeah, oh yeah.
Absolutely.
He
For
got
example,
he got made or he got more over than he was before.
and for example, you guys probably love the fact that he threw the shoe and the shoe came back. That
Yeah.
was
Well, the Philadelphia crowd is so
Oh
good.
yeah.
the
The
Philly
Philly
crowd was
crowd,
so
they
into it, and we
they
want to
always
say hi
bring
to
it.
everybody in Philadelphia that watches Robrick. Thank you so much, guys. I feel that like the whole crowd made the show even better because
Oh yeah.
crowds actually held the shows to
A
be
crowd
better.
make and break a show.
Yeah,
Most
No
you
doubt.
know
No doubt.
no
you-
doubt. And I feel that like that's what it was. It was a really great match. To me, the superplex with Kazarian and it was a great spot. Scorpio Sky doing the tope. That was also legit. To me, the only thing a little bit, the finish. The finish, like when Scorpio Sky did I think it was a drop kick. He didn't even hit it.
Oh yeah. Those guys like you don't know if they're going so hard or just tired or they mistimed it or what was,
I
but
think
yeah.
it was just like, yeah, like they didn't time it well, and I think it was just a little bit of a botch. But for
Mhm.
example, now we see the match. It was good. The one thing I will say, implications of this match, guys, the best friends. They lose, and they lose to a team that it was. I wouldn't say put together in a second, but the best friends kind of had the advantage
Oh
because like
yeah. But
Kazarian
how do
like
you
suffered from
that
Ray Phoenix,
that's
and
what I was
still
thinking.
SCU won.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, okay, so the best friends were probably going to be, cheered because SCU is a heel team.
Yeah,
So it's like, but then when they got attacked, they became baby faces because you're not going to want to see them get beat up, unfair attack from behind and then lose, especially when you clearly see the ref throwing up the X. You're like, oh shit, is this legit? Is he really hurt? And then these guys lose, you're going to feel bad.
hmm
But then the best friends also suffer too. So it's one of those things, like you said, where did they go from here? Did they
where did they
kind
go
of?
from here? That's the thing. For example, Ryan, what do you do with a team that like you can tell they're kind of legit, but they don't win?
Again,
And they didn't use. I'm sorry, they didn't use Orange
The
Cassidy.
only the only thing, since you brought him up, the only thing I could think is maybe they, there's always a storyline they can work in with him,
Yeah,
like the three of them could maybe go against the team of another three, or do
and,
something.
and maybe
Yeah,
win
there's
out.
always yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, what are your thoughts about that?
for me, you know, this is to me in the end going to be an issue when it comes down to the overall tag team division. You're not going to be able to feature everybody consistently just because there's so many good teams.
hmm
Somebody's going to lose in the end, no doubt. Unfortunately, it had to be the best friends. Um, to me, it was just in the way they did lose. You know, SCU gets attacked. Somebody like Kazarian is already done, and they still get the best friends still lose in the end.
And yeah,
It
that's what
pretty
I
much
mean.
Yeah,
was
Like,
I guess the way in like traditional, storytelling and booking, when we see this happen, the team that gets attacked in the beginning loses, and that's a way to keep them still looking strong because it's like, oh, they were, they
yeah, you
got
can always say that they were attacked
that's why they
before.
lost. But then when
Yes,
it's that sneak attacks wins, it's like, oh shit. But like you said, Ryan, there's so many tag teams. Like they'll be fine, and they're so over. When they hug in the ring, the crowd
oh the
pops.
crowd goes apes. Yeah,
They're
they go
over.
shit.
So it's
I
not.
thought they were gonna win. If
Yeah,
you ask me,
I
guys, I thought they were gonna win. When
so
they
did I.
were hugging, I'm like, they're gonna win.
Un, until I mean, I thought that going into it, but then as soon as Christopher Daniels went down, I was like, ooh, I don't know. But then I was like, just because the way the crowd was reacting and the match was going, and I mean, there's so many near falls, so it's hard to tell when you're
Yeah,
watching the match.
Hey, but see, that's the thing. Like you guys say, for example, like is the introduction, the 20-minute limit is good because actually they kind of makes the match. Is like you gotta rush it. It's like, come
yep.
on, somebody has to win. We gotta hit, devastating moves that are gonna get you done. Well, actually, when the match was over, I didn't think that it was gonna be over. I was like, oh, 1, 2, 3. I was like, what the hell? Because the move to me seemed so botched that I didn't believe it was done.
Not only that, I'm waiting for in this tag team tournament one of the matches to go with the 20-minute time limit draw,
And oh yeah,
and both of them to be eliminated, so that the other team just gets an automatic bye.
Yeah, to me, what
Waiting
I
for this to
think
happen.
they're gonna be doing, and I think is the Lucha Bros. SEU is gonna like come up and fuck them. They're
what I
gonna,
would have liked
they're
to
gonna
see,
help
I
Private
would
Party, and Private
they
Party is gonna go to the
th-
final.
this match with SCU and the best friends, was that to go the decide the winner to go against the Dark Order, right? I
Yes,
believe
yes,
that was the one. That
that's their
that would
bracket.
that would have
That's
been
their
cool
bracket.
if this match went to time limit and then the Dark Order went to the finals, like some Bam Bam Bigelow bullshit.
Yeah,
You wrestle once and then finals.
yeah, yeah, like
Like
that.
that would have been cool because then it's like, oh, they're the heavy favorites, and then
Well,
And
see,
you
then
that's
you
know,
make
where
them lose.
that's where I think it's gonna play out. I think SCU taking on it's SCU taking on the Dark Order,
The
right?
Dark Order and the Lucha Bros against
And
Private Party.
Private Party. So I think there might be some bullshit going on during that match. I mean, I don't know, but
We'll
That's
see. I
where
mean, there could be some storylines.
Yeah.
There's some seeds right there. They
there,
have a
no doubt,
reason to
no
attack.
doubt, no doubt. I I want to see that now that you have the time limit draw. I want to see it happen in an important way like this. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll do it or not.
I don't. I think that they haven't played with that situation there yet, but we'll see.
I
I
mean,
That's
think
the
well,
beauty of it.
it's too late now. They
it's
would
too
have
late
had
now. Yeah,
they would have had to have done it last round. You can't do it
you
anymore in
can't
this
do it
tournament.
anymore because now they're
Yeah,
going to the finals.
yeah. But
Well, but I mean,
so
like for example, like of course the 20-minute limit, and then maybe Cody or any whoever's the president, they will come out and be like, no, restart the match, keep going.
You could do unless
five
you want
more
to
minutes.
Yeah,
Five
yeah,
more
something
yeah.
out
minutes.
so much that like whoever wins the one match earlier, like say Private Party won, and then the other two go to a time limit draw, and they say, "All right, you're both out. Private Party is the tag champ."
Yeah, you could play that whoever like had
Oh yeah, but
the
there's no
shortest
way
match
there's
or the
no way they
quickest
would
one,
do that because
Oh,
that would
they
be
would.
such a
They would never
that'd
do.
be such a bullshit. Especially
But
because that
they could
finals
play
is
with
going to
that
be at a
because, for
pay per
example,
view.
remember how WWE used to do the beat the clock?
Don't compare. You're comparing fucking
I'm
gold
not.
to shit
I
there.
know, but I mean, you could do so many resources when it comes to
Yeah.
those things. But it
So
will be nice, and
yeah,
I
all
will tell you guys. But I will elaborate a little more when it comes to that. But I did think that the heavyweight title match was going to end in a draw because how rash it felt.
Well,
yeah,
I
we'll
did.
talk
I
about
was
it when we
thinking.
get there.
I was thinking that. I was like, okay, it's gonna end in a draw, and he keeps the title. You could have done that.
yeah, we will. We'll talk about it like
We'll
next.
talk about that, but I
Yeah.
feel that guys, the show started out pretty well with this match. I think
Oh yeah.
everybody was excited. I think Egg, you loved it, Ryan, you loved it, and I surely did. It was a nice way to start the show, and that takes us to Santana Ortiz, like Mr. X said, defeating John Silver and Alex Reynolds, and they were a local team from Philadelphia. Thing squash match. That's the one thing that I will say, guys. That reminded me a little bit of WWE, and it kind of bothered me. I'm
What
like,
this the
don't do
like
these
the squash
matches.
match?
Yeah, because don't do that. Those guys are already made. You don't need that.
Yeah, I just don't like these matches. Like you said, if a team is over, if you're introducing, and I don't like faceless jobbers. I like to see a jobber be a guy who like he jobs out for a couple months and then maybe he gets a win and then the crowd's behind him and you build him up. I don't like
Yeah.
when you just bring in dudes from the freaking 7-Eleven and they get crushed in 3 minutes and it's like okay, I would have rather seen a video package or could you put a minute on another match and 2 minutes on the another match and
Yeah,
extend
like,
them. Like
that's what
I
I
would have
think, right,
rather
Ryan?
seen
Don't
it.
you think that,
Yeah.
like, for example, to me, that was a little bit of like wasted time?
It was. It was definitely wasted time because a tag team like LAX doesn't need to be built up by squashing people
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're
Because
already built. Like you guys said, they're already a made team. Why are you doing this?
yeah, a
And
majority of
you want to
AEW's
showcase them,
fans. Oh, go
but
ahead.
I'm saying you made a perfectly good point. Act. You know, you want to showcase them, but do it in a video package then.
Yeah.
Because so far they've been beautiful with video packages. They had one with Cody Rhodes and Jericho that night, and it was beautifully done. Just do a video package.
Oh yeah, yeah, that one was
The
good.
video package was absolutely great, and Cody didn't even talk. That was the beauty of it. It was everybody that surrounds Cody. It was like his inner circle talking about Cody and how important this match is against Chris Jericho at Full Gear. That was really nice. And see, the video packages that they're doing, they're actually really really interesting and get you excited for what's to come. And that's what these television shows should do, is get you excited for so you can spend those $60 for the pay per view. Don't you guys think?
Yeah.
The one thing I will add to that, brothers, and I'm not being Hogan, but you guys are my brothers. But why Jericho needs to talk for Santana and Ortiz? Don't they speak English?
You tell me, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he did all the talking after that,
Because
and he set up the match with the Young Bucks.
the
Well,
one thing that bothered me. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
I was just gonna say, Sammy Guevara hasn't even really talked
Yeah.
Well,
either. You know what I
he
mean?
did in the video package in the match that we had with Cody. He did
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
so his English is good.
But I mean, I feel like since everybody, I understand Jake Hager being like the silent muscle, but since everybody joined him, it's like Jericho just talks, and not that Jericho can't talk because clearly he's one of the best to ever do it, but let these other guys talk. But I
That's what
think
I
I don't
mean.
know. I
That's
don't
what I
know.
mean. Like he
I mean,
should
it's
let
still
him. He should
early.
let him talk.
Maybe I don't know who decided a creative thing, but I don't know. To me, it's not that big of a deal,
Yeah,
at
I
least for
I
right
don't see
now.
it as like a huge deal. I mean, I now again, I've seen LAX's matches, dating back to when they had Hernandez, um, but my thing is, I don't know if maybe they're not great promo, and
Maybe.
simply that's why they want Jericho to be the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
Um,
are we excited about that match at Full Gear? LAX or Santana and Ortiz or Powerful and Prideful against the Young Bucks.
Oh yeah, that'll be
I am.
good.
It
It's
should be it
legit.
should be a very good match.
It's legit for it. But see, that match should be number one contender to whoever wins the tournament.
Well, to
Don't you guys
see,
think? Because
no,
since those two
no,
are
no,
teams
because
that like are
that's like
completely me.
that's like the WWE mindset. Because like, let's look at if we're just looking perfectly at the wins and losses, or strictly at wins and losses. They lost to Pride and Powerful already, even though John Moxley interfered. They still lost. They lost the first round of this tag team tournament.
Yeah.
I think the Young Bucks should like if they win this, then it's like, oh, okay, you guys got your win back now. Now
They
you're
go
kind
in
of
contention after that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
Because I
agree.
don't
Okay.
even though you're beating a team in the strongest staple, the inner circle. I don't. It's because then it's like okay, the Young Bucks are right back in title contention. It's like introduce all these teams and just like let it build.
That's
Because
a great point.
the one thing which not to get into WWE, but for deciding number one contenders right away, how WWE Charlotte or not Charlotte, oh my God, Bailey just won the title, and it's like we need to find a number one contender for Charlotte. Why couldn't you just build like that six women tag match or whatever that was, battle royal six
Yes,
whatever?
the
It's like
six
we'll
pack
SmackDown.
challenge.
split that into three matches over 2 weeks and let these women fight it out, and then I don't know, pick a number one contender out of that.
Oh yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Like, see, but they don't
Like,
know how to
but
play with this
yeah,
kind of.
so that's the whole thing. You don't need to have a number one contender right away. The champion can just be the champion and wrestle matches that
I
aren't
will say, for
for the
example,
title.
when it comes to this mentality, I just remember Ryan and I have done many videos about this. It's just at least even in the pay per view itself, they should be like a number one contenders match.
Oh yeah, there should like
That way,
once you start
who's going to be the
building.
next in contendership, and at the end of the pay per view, maybe you have a stare down. Or I used to love how you will like if you were the number one contender, you'll be watching the match on the TV.
Mhm.
Also, they will give you like a shot of that.
Yeah, no, they could definitely do that like like how they had the number one contenders match like Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc, but like do something like that on a pay per view. No, I agree with that, but
Because even makes the match even more relevant. It makes it like gives it a lot of importance to the match. But yep, that's the next segment that took place. Like I said, squash match. We know that these guys are really great. It was gonna be a very interesting match to see the Young Bucks and Santana and Ortiz. And then we have the package that we just mentioned with Cody. And now this is gonna get really interesting because I know you, Ryan, posted this on the Facebook page. AEW Women's World Championship match, Riho versus Britt Baker. And I know you, Ek, you probably had a lot of thought about this. You have a lot to say about this. How was the match for you? Start us up, Ryan.
To me, I did not see any difference between this match or any other matches that Riho has been in. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of her. I I don't know what it is about her. I don't know if it's how tiny she is. What it is. The crowd seems to love her, so that's good. Um, but when she throws like an elbow or those open hand palm strikes, there's no weight behind any of those shots, so it doesn't look like it's affecting the challenger. It's like she's getting hit with a feather or something.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's hard for me to get behind Riho right now. Where, you know, I've seen Britt Baker wrestle many times. I can get behind her easily. I hate her freaking finisher. Uh,
Rings of Sand. Oh, the crossface, right?
It's like the rings of Saturn,
Rings of
With a
like he
Saturn.
mandible
puts
claw.
like the mandible claw in, and again, you know, Riho, all she did was close her mouth.
For the ones that like love Seth Rollins, he could easily do that. He
So,
could be doing that for the longest time, correct?
so to me, like again, just for that, but that makes either Britt Baker look like an asshole, because and for me it makes Mick Foley look like an asshole because his fucking finisher was the mandible claw.
But
Like
to
all you do,
remember, it was
like drink,
effective with the sock on.
Yeah, but I mean the thing with that though, to compare that, I think it's a little funny because with Mick Foley, it just jammed the fingers in there. He just he didn't like have to get you on the ground, get you in the cross face, set it up because if Britt locks you in that, oh I better quick close my mouth because she's gonna try to go for the.
that is
But
true.
with Foley,
See,
he could
that's a
just
great
boom
point. For
hit
example,
you
like
right out
Foley
of
would
nowhere.
attack you like that, so you
Yeah,
couldn't really close your mouth.
yeah, he would wait till you had your back turned, he get his hand ready, and as soon as you turned around, it was done.
Yeah.
But
So,
I
Ek,
agree.
like,
I
give us
agree.
your thoughts. The whole match.
Would Riho like the strikes still look light? I felt like there was a little bit more to these strikes, but some, in my opinion, I saw slight progress. But like you said, the crowd is still hot behind her, and that's the most important thing. You want the crowd to cheer their champion.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, going into it, Riho wasn't going to lose.
Yeah.
It's one
At
of those things.
times, I thought
Me,
that.
to me, these matches are like house shows, except there's story going on. Because at a house show, you obviously advertise your champion is in a championship match. But when does the title ever get dropped at a house show?
Very
Never,
rare. Very
never.
rare.
Yeah,
Very
like you.
rare.
Yeah. So with that being said, you're gonna advertise a title match because it's gonna put more butts in the seats, put more viewers, on the TV. But realistically, I knew she wasn't going to drop it. And it was just a good showcase to say, hey, this woman right here, she'll be our champion one day, but this is our champion right now. That's how I saw. I mean, it was like, Britt, there was a couple botches. I don't even know if I call them botches, but, a couple spots here and there. But, I mean, it was a match on TV. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't amazing either.
Yeah, I.
Definitely their women's division is definitely second place right now. I would say they're better than WWE just in the way they're presented. If WWE used all the women that they had in this presentation, then WWE would be better. But I think NXT is still number one.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
NXT is number one, no doubt.
no
Yeah,
doubt, no doubt.
because
That match, Io
WWE they have
Shirai against
they have
Candice
good.
LeRae.
Yeah,
Oh,
WWE has good women, but they just present them as such bullshit.
Yep.
oh yeah, we just said that. Ek, we just said that on our review that you guys can see it on Facebook. So please check it out. We said WWE has extremely outstanding talent, but they don't know how to use them. It's not that like they lack talent, and it's actually really bad to say that during the Attitude Era they didn't have a lot of talent, but they knew how to present the wrestlers.
Nay, well, I mean, they presented the women, in the fucking bikini matches and shit, which at the time, that's what the people wanted. Nowadays, that's not what we want to see. We want to see the women wrestle competitively, but
Oh yeah,
WWE,
but for
they
example,
don't even.
like Ryan was saying that during the review, he was saying the champions like the Road Dog. Although I love the Road Dog, so if you're seeing it, hi. But the Godfather, people that really weren't talented enough, they were champions and they got like really main event status guys. They became that,
Yeah,
and like right now, and they knew how to like make us believe that they were legit or credible.
Well,
Now,
that's when I said the title was going downhill, though.
but you know what I mean, Ryan? Like the talent, the level of the talent. For example, compare men by men and women by women to like let's say the Attitude Era. Will you say that this time the wrestlers are way more talented? I will say yes.
Oh yeah.
Are they presented better? No.
oh no.
For example, like X-Pac, you will say, okay, he knew how to do a few moves. Was he a great wrestler? Hell no. But he was presented in a way that like everybody believed that like X-Pac was a legit wrestler.
That, and they let him go out and they let him get himself over.
Yeah.
He
And
talked
they
on the
they
mic
helped
and
him
he let
out.
himself get.
They
Imagine if you
had
set
him
out
out. So
if you sent Road Dog out. If Road Dog was 20, 30 years younger and he was wrestling for WWE now, they sent him out there with a scripted promo. He would be fucking catering like guru. He would know how to freaking set the table. He would know what like if AJ Styles likes the long fork, the little fork, which knife. He would be a loser because he couldn't
Yeah,
get himself over.
that's what I'm saying.
He
So
got himself over by his own talent on the mic.
you're
Yeah.
right. So for I will say that like yeah, AEW needs to work a little bit more on their women's division. Like you guys both said, I think Riho like needs a little bit of work when it comes to the strikes.
Yeah, I would
Um,
just and also let's see a video package on these women. Let's see, what's going on about them. Apparently Riho doesn't know how to speak any English, but I don't know. Make her just talk and then put subtitles on the screen
for example,
in a
Ryan,
video package,
Ryan,
or let
let's
her
take us
talk in
in
Japanese.
let's take us on this, right? Like for example, the point that Egg just made. Is that make the match more difficult to the communication piece?
Yes.
Like Britt Baker.
I think because he had mentioned that he said I wouldn't say that Britt fucked up, but to me, I think that was the parts where if you saw some issues going on in the match, Riho's inability to speak English is going to screw up the matches because if she's not able to communicate back and forth, that's going to fuck things up.
The only thing with that, though, I will say in her defense is it's hard to learn a language. I'm sure she's learning to communicate in the ring, but that's on AEW, Tony Khan, the Bucks, Cody, whoever, for deciding we're going to put the belt on someone who can't speak English and communicate in the ring.
I
And
absolutely agree.
You know what I mean?
and when it comes to
That's
that,
on
I will
them.
say though, Isa absolutely
Not that
great.
she's a bad wrestler. Her style, maybe we're not used to and have to get used to it. But that's on them for not going. Oh, let's go with a Britt Baker or B Priestley or Nyla Rose. Someone who speaks English, which a majority of our roster speaks.
Well, I absolutely agree with you, but for example, that to me is also like a slap on WWE's faces because, for example, how many times have we heard that Nakamura,
Hmm.
Asuka, Kyrie, they didn't have like main event status. They didn't have like these main event matches due to their inability of learning the language or speak the language. So AEW is telling us, well, in our company, I don't care what language you speak.
Well, I don't know why they just
I
can't
I
go out
praise
there
the talent.
and cut a
I put the
promo.
talent up front.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't just cut a promo in Japanese. Kenny and the Bucks used to cut promos in English.
Oh yeah,
AJ Styles cut promo in English. Jericho cut a promo in English. Like it's what you do. The crowd likes it.
what you just said, I think, is the main important thing. Is like we gotta get used to the Riho style because, for
Uh,
example, like we've been exposed to women that, in my opinion, they're way better than Riho. Asuka is way better. Kyrie is
yeah,
way
like I
better.
said,
Io Shirai is way better.
it's
So
I don't
we're, I
know if
guess,
it's
to
just
me, is
that
like
style or what, but
to me, she's like the I would say the least skillful, or the
I
girl
feel
that has
like
the least skill.
they're just painting her as like the ultimate baby face
I think the
because
ultimate underdog.
yeah, because
Yeah,
she won on a roll up here, so Britt's still strong. Riho's still the champion. I like I said, the whole going back to what I said in the beginning, the whole thing, you knew the belt wasn't going to change hands, and the match did what it needed to do.
yes. And just to conclude on this, I want to go with Mr. Ryan. For some people, the GOAT. I just say the Bible for professional wrestling. Ryan asked, why in the hell she does not have a finisher? It's the roll of her finisher, and I love that comment.
Well, again,
Can you have a
I get
freaking
why they
finisher?
did it. I'm okay with it. Britt looks strong. I'm glad. But it bothers me that she's won nearly every single one of her matches with a fucking roll up. Roll up, small package, whatever you want to call it, victory roll. There's all
Inside
sorts.
cradle.
There's all sorts of ways to call it, but she's won almost every match with that. And
On
to
on
me,
pro
we're making her
wrestling
champion look bullshit.
on pro wrestling Wikipedia, so take this however you want to. Her listed finishers and signatures: jumping knee, Northern Light suplex, and a face kick. So
Hmm.
there you have it.
See, there you go. Jean Paul
There you
Egg is
have
going to
it.
be at
Now,
statistics, and Ryan will be
But like I
a
said,
Bible of wrestling.
take that however you want it, but there it is.
And she did hit a Northern Lights suplex during the match.
She did, but to me, for example, guys, that's a basic move.
Yeah.
Am I right?
But again,
Well,
though,
you gotta
we're
think
conditioned by WWE standards to think that.
in Japan, man, they're winning matches with German suplexes. Like that's how it is.
But
Armbar.
that's crap.
But
Yeah,
we're
but
we're
they hit them
conditioned
better
that
over
way.
there than we hit them over here.
Yeah, but Ryan is right though, because see, for example, Eki, like he's seen a lot of matches in Japan. He just pretty much wants to move to Japan.
I
He's
don't
saying
do
like
no,
kayfabe. He said, "I want to live there."
and dude,
Go
I've
to the
seen a lot
dojo.
of Japan matches, but they're old fucking Japan matches. They're like Bruiser Brody old.
But
Yeah.
for example, okay, and then my brothers, if she does that, the announcers need to like sound more excited when she
Oh,
hits that
yeah.
move, right?
That's an overall issue.
Because to me,
It's getting
if
better,
she
but I
does,
think the announcers need to do a better job selling.
They do, but I think the announcers probably don't even know what Riho's finisher is.
but then whose fault is that then? The announcers are
Yeah.
not doing their job.
I agree.
Because, they should go and say, what do you do? Or like see them.
I
The
agree.
whole day they're practicing their stuff, right?
But who's the guy that wears the mask?
Excalibur.
Caliber, yeah.
Okay, he did screw up. Okay,
He screws up a couple times pretty much every episode I've noticed. He
Okay.
stumbles over his words and stuff.
Okay, he did. When during the Jericho match, he called the Walls of Jericho the Lion Tamer. Okay.
And we know what the Lion Tamer looks like.
Okay. Two totally different moves. I know people might maybe this is nitpicking, but to me they are two totally different moves. They look totally different. Okay. And I'm sorry, but that's I when it comes to moves, I know my moves. Two totally different moves. And I know
Yes.
people were hammering him about it, on like social media and shit.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they should like act like more excited when it comes to the move, right? If the
Yeah.
stunner,
I wish
if
they
Jim
would.
Rose is not calling, oh my God, it's Stone Cold Stunner, rock bottom. You just be like, okay, it's just the rock bottom.
Well, watch the first time Stone Cold hit the stunner in '96 in King of the Ring. It's like, oh, that must be the Stone Cold stunner.
See,
Like that's how they call it, and it's like then
but
2
see, for
years
example,
later they're freaking losing their minds when he hits it.
but see, Eki, at least they're acknowledging the move. So
Yeah.
for the ones that we don't know what the finisher is, oh, that must be his finisher.
Yeah, like if her finisher's a Northern Light suplex and she hits it, just be like, oh, like one of the prettiest Northern Light suplexes in the game, or like nobody has better impact on a Northern Light suplex.
Or
It
remember,
sells.
Ryan, when we will play the game and I will hit my move, what would I used to say? Nobody kicks out of that.
Yeah.
Remember that? And then everybody will kick down and be like, oh my God. See? You got to learn how to
Yep.
sell it. So, brothers, moving on. We'll just have the Lucha. We have the Lucha Brothers against half of the Jurassic Express and Marcus Stunt. Match went way too long, like you guys both say. A lot of people trashing Marcus Stunt. What are we thoughts about that?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like him. Get him out of the ring.
Why? Because he looks like a freaking kid. He looks like a
Yeah,
5-year old.
I mean, like again, I stopped watching because Monday Night Raw, like I believe Dave Meltzer said it. Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, like WWE's essentially they took a wrestling promotion and they're like, how can we make a parody of it?
Yeah.
Like, how can we make fun of it and then have that be our actual TV show?
Yeah.
And that's what they do. This, I don't want to see that when I watch AEW. And they have Marco Stunt coming out there doing Fortnite dances in the ring. He's like 3'11". Get him out of here. I don't. Like maybe some people are into that. Maybe some people are like,
I don't
oh,
think he's that sure.
He's like the underdog. People love him. Maybe,
but Mr. X
in a match like this, he's not believable.
But
not
Mr.
at all.
X, he did hit a few moves and they were good. I saw him doing a DDT against Pentagon.
But I'm gonna fill you in. I'm gonna fill you in on something. These guys are working together in the ring and they communicate, and it's
but I mean,
predetermined.
the guy looks to me reminds me, and maybe I want Ryan's thoughts on this. Zach Gowen.
Yeah, I won't shit on him as much as Ek did. For a guy that's like small, he's pretty damn talented. So
he's definitely athletic, but to me, like I said, it just comes down to the believability.
It does. So to me, when it comes down to it, if you're not gonna have a Luchasaurus there, you know, I don't want to see, Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy teaming up and trying to face people because to me, it's not a legit tag team.
No.
I like to see Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy together because to me, it's badass. They have great chemistry together. They're a great team. Marco Stunt there is kind of the third wheel.
To me, it's like a Spike Dudley. You know what I mean?
Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
Like he
Exactly.
comes out,
that's the
he does
perfect
his move,
example.
and done, and
It
done,
absolutely is.
and done. That to me, what like Marcos Stan resembles to me. But I understand what X says, and yeah, it is true because I've heard a lot of bashing in social media, other podcasts, that like they hated the fact that he was there. To me, he's a little bit talented. For example, like wouldn't you put a guy like that against Leo Rush? Cruiserweight Championship. Wouldn't that be a good match, Mr. Eck? And here I'm playing
It would
devil's
be a good
advocate.
it would be a good match, but Marco never wins. Because if he wins, I'm gonna be like, well, the next dude he faces, he's losing. Because I can't get behind him. I would be like, oh, maybe with all his hard work to say all the work he's put into the business that he deserves to be a champion, but he's not believable. So like he would have to have like the 10-second title reign.
So I am assuming that you enjoy when he got his ass kicked.
I mean, I don't. It was just that's the way it needed to be
It needed to be, yes. And but see, for
because they
example, like
weren't gonna squash because obviously the team wasn't gonna forfeit the match just because their heavy hitter was out.
I
You weren't gonna squash Jungle Boy because
and I
he's
agree
a
to that.
mainstay on the team. So Marco Stunt. They happen to have a third man. He was obviously gonna be the fall guy.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, see, for example, when it comes to this, and just to finish this thought, mentioning that before the match took place, Luchasaurus was reported that he had an injury, and the injury didn't even take place during the match, during training. I guess so he did something at home. So we just knew like an hour, I want to say an hour and a half before the show started, that he actually wasn't going to wrestle. So that took a lot of the importance. I will say everybody was
Yeah,
really bummed out
I think once you
from this.
saw that, like once everybody saw that announcement, you knew who was going to win. And with that being said, this match didn't need to be as long as it was.
Yep.
It's fine to let Jungle Boy and even Marco Stunt, like again, I shit on him, so now I'm done. I'm going to praise him here and there. But like, it's fine to let those two guys get their offense in, but then have the Lucha Bros just clean up, boom, 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 and let's get out of here.
Yes.
The match, it was too much back and forth. A
Yeah.
little, it should have been the Lucha Bros start out strong. Jurassic Express makes a comeback, back, forth, back to the Lucha Bros, done.
Done.
It was too much. Oh, ooh, and then too many near falls, and it's like, oh shit, is the Jurassic Express gonna pull this one out? You know?
Which it will be really bullshit. It would have been
Oh
a
yeah.
really
And
that would
and
have been a
can we
major
just say
upset.
how talented the Lucha Bros are?
No, oh
Oh
yeah,
my god!
that would
Like
have been a
when Phoenix
major upset.
when Phoenix runs across the rope and like kicks people in the face and he's walking a tightrope.
Oh yeah.
He's amazing.
For this match, for the next upcoming match, I'm gonna ask Ryan to walk us through tag team match, another tag team match during the show. John Moxley and Pac the Bastard against Handman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. Your thoughts about the match?
For me, um, I thought it was a solid match. I'll say that. It was decent back and forth. Um, in the end, I enjoyed it because I love that they're letting Moxley portray his own character, which WWE never let him do. In the end, you know, you had the Pac and him getting into sort of a
Argument.
disagreement. He's kind of fuck you, does the dirty deeds, which I don't even know what the fuck it's called anymore.
Oh yeah, I forget what they're calling
To
it
me, it's
now.
dirty deeds. It's just
Right?
dirty deeds.
It's
To
dirty
me, it's
deeds.
dirty deeds. Because like for us three, like okay, just gonna change the name because he's in another company. No, call him dirty deeds. That's what it is.
I'm looking it up. It's gonna bug
See,
me
Mr.
now.
Egg is gonna be our statistics guy. But anyway, finish the thought, Ryan.
But that's what I loved and took from this match, that they're going to continue to let him be his own character. And that's all he ever wanted from WWE, or WWE.
Of
Uh,
WWE, I guess. Thank you to Kurt Angle.
so, that's what I really took away from this. I mean, everybody got a little bit of their spots in. Kenny had one time where he was going ape shit all over the place, kicking everybody's ass.
He was hitting them brutal knees.
Oh,
The B trigger,
nice
guys, is
spot.
the best knee in the sport.
So
The finisher is called the paradigm shift, which I think is bad. Paradigm shift, which I think is badass.
Oh yeah. And Eki, you and me predicted this.
Yeah,
So
we said
Robert was
the
right.
turn.
Yeah, we said that like it was gonna happen
me,
because
like I
that
said,
correlates what Ryan said.
I believe
Go
I
ahead,
said
Ed.
this to you. Like John Moxley to me is like a heel Stone Cold when he was like, I'm fixing to run through everybody on the roster, but like turned up to 11. He is like, I don't give a fuck about you, and especially you, and he's beating everybody up, and that's what I like. Like you said, John Moxley, he doesn't care about rules or what other people think. Pac was like, no, blah blah blah, you can't be using his barbed wire baseball bat or whatever it was. He's like, we got to win this match. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Fuck you, and then done,
The bird,
done.
dirty deeds, and done. So I really enjoy this. I will
Yeah.
say Don Moxley is really legit. One little thing that I can say to you guys: the gear bothers me big time.
Oh yeah, I don't like that he doesn't have tape or anything, or
Oh, I mean just the trunks. I
yeah.
don't like that.
Oh, see, I think it looks kind of cool just because it's so different. I think that might not be a permanent look. He's probably still trying to figure it out, but
Yeah, to me, I think
I understand what
personally,
you're
I don't
saying.
really
Like, yeah,
enjoy that. I need pants
To me,
and a
he
little bit
looks,
of
yeah.
tape or like the
To
tape
me,
that like a
give a
Scorpio
chance.
Sky had.
To me, he looks very queer. That's just me, but he does. He looks like a flamer because he's just out there in fucking nothing. And to me, he looks like I'm not gonna go on any further. We might lose fans if I do, but good lord, to me, you do. You need tape. You need something. Not just fucking underwear. And you're out.
I will say maybe about that. I will agree with Egg. Maybe he's trying to figure it out because he has to maybe differentiate himself from what Dean Ambrose used to be.
I would say he does, but to me, he's already done that.
is that
So
what he
Because
is?
Dean
That I wonder
Ambrose
if
was
that I
taking
wonder if that's what he
injections in the
wore.
fucking ass.
What he wore in Japan. 'Cause
he did in Japan a few times, and also we gotta mention this guys. He vacated the title because he couldn't show up for in Japan because of the typhoon. So for that reason, I feel that like he had.
Yeah,
Uh,
here's a clip of him in Japan, and he has
sure.
the biker shorts, and he has knee pads. I don't even think he had knee pads on.
No, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that only
I feel
me.
like you give him knee pads and wrist tape, even with the shorts. He won't look bad.
There you go. For example, to me, if you don't do tape, like like for example, like throughout the hand, at least around the wrist, like wristbands, that will be fine. I will look. It
Mm.
will look to me a little better. So anyway, guys, go to the main event. Let's talk about main event. Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, street fight in Philadelphia. Did it feel rushed?
It did, because I'm gonna be honest. When I was watching this, I like didn't even know what time it was, and I was like, oh, okay, like wonder if this is gonna end soon, because I was thinking it was almost 9 o'clock, and then I'm like, oh fuck, there's another match after this. So I
Yeah.
definitely thought it felt rushed because I thought everything went on a little too long, and they didn't give enough time. So then when the tag team match started up, and I heard him saying the rules, oh, street fight, rope break is still in effect. I immediately was like out loud. I'm like, what?
That pissed me off.
I'm like, what? Because I knew saying that it was going to come into effect, and I'm like, how are you going to do
A
a
street
street
fight.
fight in Philly with a rope break?
See, for example, that's a really great point that both of you and I didn't catch that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, family, that I didn't catch that, but the brothers did. So see, that's why I have my brothers around me. They could catch that. The only legit thing when he said rope break to me, I just remember our show. So that's the only reason I did like that. And I will say just to one quick thing. Let me just say this. I love when Justin Roberts goes Gian Moxley. There you go. Going back to that, Ryan, did it feel rushed for you?
For me, it did. I don't think they had a lot of time to work with. Um, but, to me, the more bullshit thing was the rope break. Okay, it's a fucking no DQ street fight. Okay, if you have a submission on and you get to the rope, I'm sorry, but the submission can continue to be on. And people were starting to shit on it during the match. I heard them in the crowd in Philadelphia. They were getting pissed off because, the referee, you get to the rope, okay, break up the hold. No, you're not supposed to do that in
It's
a no
not a
DQ match.
street fight, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like when they brought attention to that little detail, we were all waiting for it to pop up in the match. And then when it did, it's like, oh, here we go. The ref's going to come in. Because I thought maybe Excalibur said that and he just fucked up. That's what I was hoping. I'm like, oh, there's no way that that's going to happen. But in the back of my mind, I was waiting for the spot. And then when it happened, I wish it would have been a mic on Jericho and he would have been like, fuck you. It's a no DQ. Like, eat my ass.
He
Like, I'm going
actually
to
did.
keep, you know what I mean? Like,
He,
it was
he
so
actually did bring
stupid.
it up. He did
Oh,
bring
okay,
it up during the
good,
match
good.
at one point.
And that's what I mean. But for example, the one thing I would want to mention to both of you guys is also the one thing that kind of bothered me is like, and the time limit is whatever TV time we have remaining.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys caught that.
I did pick that up.
I'm like, okay. So that's what I mean. That's when, like, for example, that was the time, guys, that they could have played the thing of the draw.
Yeah.
They could have been, Jericho, for example. Jericho had the walls.
But the whole thing
And
with
he
that
doesn't
though,
have.
I don't do a draw to a guy who deserves it and a guy who's a main event. Darby Allin is over and he's there now, but I feel he's like a hangman. He's going to be floating around kind of in the main event scene, but he's going to be at the bottom of it for a while. He's not. If he had a draw against Cody and a draw against Jericho, as soon as Full Gear's over, he has the right, in my opinion, to be like, "Why want a title shot again?" Because none of these guys could legit beat me. They were in your title match at your last pay per view. None of them could legit beat me. So, but I don't think they want to keep pushing him. I think this was the thing, like with Britt Baker, like, you're gonna be our person one day. We're just showcasing you off now. Like, if he's gonna tie someone, it needs to be like a Pac or Kenny or someone like that.
Well, for example, so you're bringing a great point up, and I really understand that. But I feel that, like, for example, if you use those kind of details when you're introducing the match, then play with them, because that's, for example, that was their way to say already, we need to rush this up, because like whatever TV time remaining we have at that time,
Yeah,
like 12 minutes.
my only problems with the match, and then Ryan, we'll hear your thoughts because I feel like I'm talking too much. But anyway, is I didn't like the rope break bullshit, and I didn't like how he couldn't win clean. I know Jericho's a heel, and you're trying to get his stable over, but I feel like Darby Allin, what was he, handcuffed or no? He taped
He
him.
taped him.
Yeah, he was
He
taped.
taped him, and it still took Jake Hager to punch him, and then Jericho to put him away. You know what I mean? Like, Jericho should have just been able to Judas effect and done.
And
Yeah.
Mr.
I don't
Weber, take us home here.
I agree with that, Kier, because to me, if you got a guy handcuffed or taped, whatever, both hands are behind the back, especially a guy like Darby Allin or whatever the fuck his last name is. I feel like I'm pronouncing
Allen.
it
Allen.
Allen, whatever the fuck his name is. You know, guy so small like that, you're champion right now. You should be able to put him away. Especially if you have him in a situation like that.
There was a point in the match, not to interrupt again, but I thought because he's so skinny that he was going to be able to like pull his like legs through his arms and have his arms be up front then, and then maybe like choke Jericho. You know what I mean? Like put his like legs through his arms. But they never did anything like that. That's the only thing
Finish the thought, Ryan.
Well, for me, I'm just saying I agree with Eck, because to me, you're not making Jericho look prominent enough in his role right now, especially because he's the leader of the Inner Circle. If you're having all of his goons right now help him win, I get you're trying to, promote these guys in the Inner Circle and stuff. But to me, you need to make him look very strong right now because he's the leader.
And especially he's going against Cody.
Right?
Yeah.
You need to have him get a big win, stuff like that, before the match. Not make him look kind of like, to me, it's kind of a very bullshit win. because he needed help to get the win over kind of like a mediocre guy right now.
And for example, guys, to me, this was the kind of situation where the Judas effect could have been used in a legit way.
It could have.
Yeah, the guy is absolutely, is taped up. He can't even move. Hit the Judas effect, and it should be done.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
didn't even use the code breaker. He didn't use Judas effect. He had to submit the guy.
I feel like they're pushing Darby Allin to the moon. Like he has like the fucking rocket pack strapped to him, and they're blasting him off, which I don't understand. I get the crowd likes him and he's cool, whether they think his gimmick is cool or his looks cool or whatever the fuck. But if you would, let's say they make him AEW champion, like if he would have won tonight, viewers down, gone.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna put
He's
that
not a
title
credible
on
champion.
him.
No. So to me, I don't understand this, like the protecting him, because with Jake Hager knocking him out and then Jericho submitting him, you're still protecting him.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
Darby Allin could still come out and say, "Oh, this, even though it was a street fight, it took your goons to beat me." Blah blah blah. He's still extremely protected, which I know you don't want to bury guys, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what he's doing that they like so much compared to everybody else.
To me, what I've heard that like a lot of people think of Darby Allin like a version of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
like a Jeff Hardy that is like really well liked with the girls. He takes his shirt off. Oh my god, and he does a lot of aerial moves and everything. The one thing is like he didn't use his finisher. So
I
for
thought
example,
he did. I thought he didn't. I thought Jericho kicked out.
is that to me? I don't remember seeing that. Ryan, right here.
I'm trying to
Attention to detail.
remember. What the fuck's his finisher?
The Santa.
Off the top.
The senton off the top?
Yeah.
I remember him doing a corkscrew moonsault off the top. I don't remember seeing the senton.
So
Well,
if he didn't do it, at least they're protecting the move.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is
it's
something
kind of
good.
like a senton, but he just climbs up, crosses his arms, and just like falls backwards on top of you.
Yes.
To me, that's even more bullshit than a Northern Light suplex as your finisher.
I thought he hit it on Jericho, and then like something was messed up. I could be wrong. He might have hit something else, and I wasn't paying attention. But it looked like he hit something, and then the ref was like slow on the count getting there, and then that's
we need to start taking notes, guys. We need to start taking notes. Mental note for Robrick. So
my father fucking called me at that time during that match, so I wasn't even paying attention to half the match.
Shout out to Mr. Todd Weber, Ryan's dad. He supports the show also, but he happens to call sometimes during crucial moments of matches. So shout out to him. So anyway, guys, let's close this episode of third week of Dynamite with your thoughts, Mr. Egg and Ryan's, of what the next episode is gonna bring. We already have 2 matches announced, 2 more tag team semifinals of the tournament, who advances, and also Britt Baker's coming back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, her hometown.
Is she having a match? I would like to see just more, like a women's match or 2 on the card.
She's probably gonna have a match, or she probably let's say they're gonna introduce a new member of the AEW women's roster.
That's what I mean. I would like to see something like that. Definitely keep focusing on the storylines that they have in place. Maybe start a new one. But I mean, everything that they're doing so far has been great. I don't think they'll disappoint next week.
And what about the tag matches?
Are both of them next week?
I think the Lucha Bros and Public Enemy is.
Private Party.
Yeah. I keep
Public
going.
Enemy is ECW, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish, dude.
I keep going back. So I'm sorry. Private Party. Private Party and the Lucha Bros. I think that's gonna take place next week.
Okay, I'm gonna say this whole tournament, man. It's a toss up. My sleeper pick is to win it is the Dark Order, but I'm gonna say if the Lucha Bros win, then they're gonna win the whole thing. But no, I gotta go to Lucha Bros. I'm going Lucha Bros and Dark Order. Okay. I don't think Private Party. I mean, if Private Party wins, they're definitely gonna lose in the finals because I don't see them being the first tag team champs.
Oh,
But
are you sure it's Private Party or Public Enemy? No, I'm kidding.
I wish it
I'm
was
just
Public
kidding.
Enemy.
I'm just making a fool of myself. That's fine. And there you go, Mr. Egg. Those are your thoughts.
Rock.
There you go. Ryan, Lucha Bros against Private Party.
For me,
SEU interferes.
I actually think that you need to put the championships on Private Party. They're so hot with the crowd right now. I think that now that you took the Lucha Express out, I think that's your next option.
Okay. So, but like SEU interferes.
That's what I would do. That way you don't look you know the Lucha Bros don't look bullshit then, and then they can stay in contention for the title.
Yes. And what about for you? Take us home with John Moxley against the Bastard, 1-on-1. Last time that they did that, USA United States Championship, 6 years ago.
For me, right now,
Who wins in that match? And then I want your thoughts on that, Mr. Eck. Because one of them, you need to start featuring both. Good.
when is full gear?
November 9th. Road Break will be there. Not when the
Not in the full
not in the building. Not in the building.
No.
You gotta
I
help
wish.
us out, people. The
I
people
wish.
that watch us, help us to get credentials, and Road Break will be there.
Donate money for us to go November
Yeah.
9th.
We're not doing Patreon. We're not doing that crap. Okay. And you know who I'm talking about. Donate in a different way.
All right. Well, for me in this match, I'd like to see like a Kenny Omega interference or something. Okay, something where along the lines, something happens for. I'm gonna call him. I want Pac, not Pac. Okay, that bothers me, but for some reason I hate
Or the Bastard.
Name. Or the bad. Yeah, I hate the whole. I like him as a
No,
wrestler.
Pac just saying Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I just hate the whole fucking name, but I'd like to see him get the win since he's lost 2 matches in a row now.
No, he's won. Well, no. He won.
Who? Pac?
Pac, yeah, Pac is still
Pac's
undefeated as a single. As singles,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
undefeated.
singles. Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking.
because this is a tag.
I'm thinking. Okay. So that doesn't count in your loss record if you lose?
No, because there's 2 separate things. Record in tag and record in singles.
Yeah, it has like overall record and then it has like a singles record.
Yeah.
But so your overall record will show your losses though in tag.
You will show 1 because it was the tag. Yeah.
Okay. So to me, I don't know. It's very hard to determine because to me they both need momentum.
But you just said it though. Bring Kenny and DQ.
So, but again, this is my mind working from WWE. Again,
you gotta stop watching that.
Like I gotta stop watching it, but because I'd like Moxley to continue to have his momentum, but I'd like him also to get the win at Full Gear.
So I'm calling out John Paul Egg, the booker, and not Booker T, not Kevin Nash. How do you book this match? Who wins, or what do you do with this 2?
Does Pac have a match at Full Gear?
No.
Or is he done?
No, he doesn't have a match yet. You could do do Adam Page again.
The only
wait, I think they do have a match.
No.
I thought it was Page versus Pac.
No, it hasn't been announced. No.
Because the only thing I don't think Pac should lose. I think he should lose in a title, like if he goes for the title and they don't want him to lose. Like I feel like he should stay undefeated in singles action until then. Just kind of keep some momentum, something behind him. I mean, if Moxley's gonna lose, and you're not gonna have it be clean, because I think he should lose, but you don't want it to be clean, then have Kenny hit him, but the ref don't see it. Like I don't want it to end in a DQ kind of deal. Like I don't want the ref to ring the bell and it's like Moxley wins by DQ. I want you
have actually Moxley going over.
No, if it would be a DQ that Kenny would attack Moxley, then Moxley would obviously win. But if I'm booking it, yeah, I think that
Kenny helps Pac winning. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. To me, either end helps. Either end is good. So we'll see what happens. Like there's going to be more build up towards Full Gear there's a few matches announced. Ryan, are you done checking?
Yeah. I was just
Okay.
checking to see if there's any more matches announced yet, but
Nope.
there.
They have so far Young Bucks against LAX or Santana Ortiz, the title match. We even still need a title match for the women. Another defense for Riho. And of course, they're going to crown the tag team champions. So it's going to be an interesting week. Week 4 of AEW Dynamite. I want to thank my brothers for an excellent review. I think we cover everything, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, we're all satisfied. I hope you guys keep watching us, keep supporting the show, keep giving us feedback. That's what we love. Like Brandon always says, we love the interaction. Ryan also, he interacts with a lot of you on Facebook and everything. So we want to say thank you to all of you. We will come back with newest episode. It's going to feature our thoughts about what Crown Jewel is going to take place, everything that is going to take place at Crown Jewel, because we have a lot of reasons to see that this pay per view is going to be one of the worst pay per views that WWE has ever produced. All right, guys? So, do we
This
say
is
bye?
right
Yep.
there to Crown Jewel.
Yeah, right there. Ryan wouldn't even be watching, so for Crown Jewel, this is going to be Egg and myself because Ryan hates blood money.
If you want, I can take a dick pic, and that will be my image. For the
Right there, that will be. So hopefully, if you guys are into that, some of the family that watches that, I mean, we need the support. So we just want any kind of support. So guys, thank you again. We'll be back soon. So
Ta-da!